A season like no other. Delays, pauses, masks, basketball amid a pandemic. Yet today, the season reaches the checkered flag. From Wheatmore High School in Trinity, North Carolina, the women's 4A North Carolina State Basketball Championships in the state title game for the first time in 43 years, undefeated Garner against the defending state co-champion Vance Cougars. Patrick Keenis, Jay Sohnhalter, welcome everyone. A day that these players deserve. Jay Sohnhalter, after last year's championships were canceled as the pandemic began.
But you said it, they deserve this opportunity with all the challenges they face. Outstanding seasons on both sides and tough playoff runs where they had some scares. They made it here today. This is going to be an up-tempo, exciting game. All
right, Jay, introduce the state to some of the key players we'll see today.
Well, we've got a couple players who are getting big-time college recruiting interest. And for Garner, Journey Kiyako Jr., she's going to push the pace unlike any other player you'll see. So fast, she can take it all the way to the hoop, but on the defensive end, she creates havoc. She's averaging 26 points per game, and she's the leader for Garner. On the other side for Vance, Amaya Moreland, 6'1" post player. She creates balance on the offensive end. She can dominate the paint, but the key for her is getting out on the perimeter, hitting that outside shot, forcing defenders to come out on her. That's going to create driving lanes for her teammates.
All right, now let's focus on the championship keys today. Our Ingles food for thought. Low prices, love the savings.
Garner wants to win on the glass so they can get out, push the ball up the court, get on the fast break. And then Coach Sigler really wants his team to be above 70% from the free throw line today. They're going to get there a lot, but they have to execute. For Vance, they want to slow the ball game down, lower down the pace, and then limiting the turnovers is going to be so important because that won't allow Garner to get out and push on the fast break opportunities.
All right, the Garner Trojans' only state appearance occurred in 1978. They won the title. The head coach is here. Vance, the co-champs last year with Southeast Raleigh, because of the pandemic, did not allow the game to play. They play for the title when we return.
Wake up with Hardee's. The $3 bacon, egg, and cheese burrito. Fluffy egg, crispy bacon, and melty cheese. All wrapped up in a warm tortilla. The $3 bacon, egg, and cheese burrito. Part of Hardee's 2-3 more breakfast menu. Feed your happy.
I've got a math question for you. When you add tolerance, subtract prejudice, and multiply efforts to treat one another with respect, what do you get? Less division. And school sports have it down to a science. Looking for an example of what can happen when we realize there's more that unites us than divides us? Look no further than high school sports in North Carolina.
This message presented by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the North Carolina Athletic Directors Association.
If you've been injured in an accident, tell them you mean business. Call the law offices of James Scott Farron on the Hurt Line.
16 top teams, 8 championship games, 1 unforgettable day. To be named the state's best, the 2021 North Carolina High School Athletic Association Basketball Championships are coming Saturday, March 6th. Don't miss a moment of the action. Coverage begins at 10:30 a.m. on your home for the NCHSAA Championships. Broadcast presented by West Shore Home. Halftime brought to you by Hardee's.
This is the black dress. I'm the judge, and we're in the middle of a trial.
In the People's Court, Judge Millian rules.
He was getting violent.
I didn't know what else to do.
I want to kill him.
Get out of my courtroom!
Real justice. The People's Court. Weekdays on MyRDC.
Well, if it isn't Big Hardy, you fixin' to sauce me up? Sick those beefy twins on this cheese hound? Scram, Big Mac, go play with your extra toy bun. The adults are getting meaty.
The Big Hardy, part of the buy one, get one for just $1 deal. Feed your happy.
And welcome back to Wheatmore High School. They didn't play the championships last year because of the pandemic, and they're anxious to get things going here in 2021. So we are underway. Vance, the top seed out of the West, undefeated, and the defending co-champs with Southeast Raleigh. And the Garner Trojans at 17-0 come in as the 6th seed out of the East. Garner is in the home white uniform, and there's a look at the West Shore home starting lineup. Journey Kiyako averaging about 26 a game, and Amira Hamiltonian is a target potentially of an NC State in the ACC among other squads as Vance takes the early lead thanks to the bucket by Amaya Moreland. The Moreland sisters, not twins. Amaya is a senior, Trinity the junior.
6'2" for Trinity, 6'1" for Amaya. That's going to be the challenge for Garner, is really holding up in the paint area, guarding them.
All right, let West Shore Home convert your old bathtub into a modern and spacious walk-in shower in just one day. That is tipped out. It will stay with the Garner Trojans. Some fans are in attendance here today. Cheerleading units are here. It's becoming to look a little bit more like normality, Jay, as the state was opened up a little bit more a couple of weeks ago.
It's great to have fans back, and Patrick, you can feel the buzz in the air. This is beginning to feel like a normal state championship weekend.
All right, this is Kyaku, number 2, stripped on the way up by Vance. And here come the Cougars with a 2-0 lead. Another poke away, and another turnover right back. And Moreland, though, can't finish on the inside. And Garner will pick up the ricochet loose ball. Well, we talked with each of the head coaches yesterday. For the Garner Trojans, the third-year man, William Stigler, and for Vance, Danelle Ryan, and they both are extremely bullish on the seasons. There have been a lot of disruptions for each of these programs, frankly, every team across the state, Jay.
Well, and I think the key word that you would say is they're proud of their teams for what they've been through, the starts, the stops, the challenges with opponents, not knowing what the normal schedule will be. There's no consistency this year. But to be here in the state championship, what an honor for both coaches.
And there's a look at the Sergeant First Class head coach of the Garner Trojans, William Stigler. Spent 23 years in the U.S. Army, stationed overseas in Iraq and Afghanistan and Kuwait, among other locations. This is a 3 from Garner's Naima Hicks. Offensive rebound. And a third crack near the rim and a couple of free throws on the way for Garner. As Swin Bastion, who's just been a relentless force on the offensive side for Garner, keeping that play alive. She'll head to the line.
And how she got that rebound, she was just physical down low, was able to kind of get her body positioned in there between two Vance defenders.
And there is the first point for the Garner Trojans in a state title game in 43 years as Bastion knocks down the free throw from the Riddle and Brantley free throw line. If you're injured in an accident, call Riddle and Brantley when justice counts. Couple of minutes gone by. We are tied 2-2. These state championship games are almost always played at university locations. The Dean Dome in Chapel Hill, Reynolds Coliseum on the campus of NC State. But because of the pandemic and opportunities to play here in some centralized locations here in North Carolina, a couple of high schools in the Greensboro, High Point area have opened up their gymnasiums for us and for these games to be played.
Yeah, this is a beautiful facility here at Wheatmore High School. And, Patrick, here early on in this ball game, you're here at a neutral court, a lot of nerves going on. These teams both have outstanding offensive units. I think here early on, we're going to see them maybe take a little while to get into rhythm.
So here comes Vance, 11-0 out of the IMEC. The defending state co-champs went 26-5 last year, and we talked with Danelle Ryan about breaking the news to his players that last year's championship game was not going to take place. A lot of tears were spent from players and coaches, and even a couple of players who graduated off of that Vance team. They are here today. Kiana Morgan, Megan Jackson, the two graduating seniors, and one of them is a conditioning playing for the Radford Highlanders. As they drive and a miss there by Kyaku. Second crack from close range is also missed, and Vance covers the rebound. But even leaving a day of conditioning on the college campus, saying, Coach, I'm out of here. I have to be at Wheatmore to watch my team today. This is Amaya Moreland driving on the baseline and reaching over Bastion for another offensive rebound, and she'll head to the foul line for Vance.
Well, Moreland so physical down low. When she's set up on the block, she's so tough to defend, but you have to box her out. Garner not being physical enough down low.
Well, this is Moreland, better than a 1,000-point score over her career. And back at the Riddle and Brantley free throw line is Moreland, who has all 3 points right now for Vance.
See, initial contact, no foul being called, but she continues to fight, relentless. And they're finally getting the contact.
Makes 1 of 2, and then the offensive rebound grabbed by Vance's Leah Behringer, but called for a walk, and it's Garner basketball down 1. Hicks nearly walked and gets it back from Kyaku. Kyaku, one of the most exciting players in the state. A hard left-handed shot bank long and tipped out of bounds by Garner. Well, for the Garner Trojans, again, they played in their only state championship game back in 1978 as William Stigler calls a timeout with 4:27 left in this first quarter. The head coach of that team, Lawrence Dunn, and 3 players off of that 1978 championship team, they are here today. And compliments of Coach Stigler, who's having a little bit of a tricky situation trying to find enough tickets for everybody who is requesting this week for Garner, but made sure, adamant, that there would be 4 tickets available for Coach Dunn and those 3 players.
Yeah, the loyalty to them and what they did for that program, and what a great season it was in '78 to get the state championship. But you're right, you know, him coming into Garner, what he's been able to do to turn this program around. A great season this year, but just the discipline that he instills with his team. And this is a program that's continued to improve each and every year under his watch.
And they've had 2 really challenging games in the postseason. There's Danelle Ryan in his 5th year for Vance. He played some semi-pro football, played football at West Charlotte. And their big win came over Independence in the regional semifinals. A game they were down by 14 at halftime. He even got a technical foul in that game to kind of instill a little bit of faith and fire. But he never lost faith that his team would execute and come back. A game they won by 2 in the waning moments. And there's a 3 from Behringer. And it's a 6-2 lead for Vance. Nissan three-pointer knocked down by Behringer. Brought to you by your local Nissan dealers. And Affinian counters at the other end for Garner. 6-4, the Vance first quarter lead. Garner knocked off top-seeded Ashley in the regional finals, a game that featured 2 of the premier scorers in the state. 6-4 as we are underway in the 4A Women's State Championship. The early lead to the defending co-champs.
Get ready for this week's matchup on Friday Night Rivals.
Hi, I'm Jay Sunhalter, and this week is the season premiere of Friday Night Rivals. We've got a great matchup as Wakefield travels to Rollsville for the team's conference opener. Both squads have high expectations in the loaded Northern Athletic Conference. We're live on Friday night.
Watch each week as the area's best high schools battle for victory. Experience it live Friday night on MyRDC 28. MyRDC Friday Night Rivals, presented by West Shore Home.
Don't risk your future. Don't settle for less. If you've been hurt on the job, call the Workers' Compensation Specialists at the law offices of James Scott Farron right now.
America's Court with Judge Ross, daytime Emmy nominated for Outstanding Legal Courtroom Program.
That's the second time I've said I'm talking to her.
I'm so sorry, Your Honor.
Okay, you need to slow your roll.
Judge Ross is back with all new cases and the same attitude.
This gavel doesn't bang itself.
Weekdays at 11 on MyRDC 28.
Back to Wheatmore High School in Trinity, North Carolina. The North Carolina High School Athletic Association 4A State Championships presented by West Shore Home. A 6-4 lead for Vance. Make your next meal easy with Wegmans Meals to Go. Order hot pizza and wings, fresh subs, sushi, and more. All for delivery, carry-out, or curbside pickup. Patrick Keenis, Jay Sohnhalter with you. Vance in the orange. Coming out of the West region, Garner in the home whites. And this is Amaya Moreland. And the rebound tipped right back to her, and a second crack for the Cougars.
You know, Garner having some troubles on the boards right now, giving too many easy opportunities to Vance.
And a clean look on the inside. And the bucket to the freshman, Jada Richardson, who will see a decent amount of time off for the bench for Vance, who forces a turnover from Garner.
They're really trying to slow down the speed of Garner. Garner wants to push the tempo up. And they just haven't created those turnovers to get out on the break. We'll see here again. No box out, the tip going out to Moreland, keeping the ball alive again, and then keeping your eyes up to make an easy pass down low.
It really was Hayes and Moreland, the 2 very quiet leaders of this Vance team. The one in talk with Danelle Ryan a couple of weeks after last year's championship game was canceled, and he said when they talk, which is not often, everybody listens, as Behringer hits another 3 out of the corner. Brought to you by Nissan and your local Nissan dealers. And he said their theme for this year was 1 more year. They don't want to have the asterisk of the co-championship decades down the road define last year's team.
They feel like they're on a mission. And Behringer one of those players, a senior, their best defensive player coming out here early on. 2 big 3-pointers for her team.
7-point lead for Vance. Couple of threes in this quarter off of the elbow, and there is Amaya Moreland, who Danelle Ryan said she can take over and dominate a game when she wants to. And most of the time this year, she's wanted to. Dumping it into the post, and a foul will send Kanaya Bell to the free throw line for Garner. And that foul goes against Hayes.
That was a good look down low. Bell had position on the low block. Caught the ball up high, turned, and immediately got through that contact.
So to the Riddle and Brantley free throw line. Garner trailing 13-4. And the first point for Bell, senior, averaging about 4 a game. If you're injured in an accident, call Riddle and Brantley when justice counts. It just feels so nice to have a bit of an atmosphere in a gymnasium for a high school game this year. We've all sacrificed, persevered. And while the players deserve it, the coaches deserve it, fans and administrators of all these schools do as well. They've done a great job to allow us to get to the finish line today.
And it's great to have these fans here to really be a part of the journey for these players and coaches. And I can tell you, as a player, feeling that energy from the crowd, I know they're enjoying it.
High-low pass from Moreland, thrown beyond the reach of Hayes on the inside. Turnover, Vance. 13-6 lead for the Cougars. Few hundred fans in attendance, all masked. Cheerleading units are here. Darden traveled before the shot attempt. And Garner's head, I don't know if this is nerves or the pace of the game or figuring out the defensive advance, but turnover prone in this opening quarter.
They just really haven't gotten into the feel of the ball game yet, and they're used to being on the run, creating turnovers, and they haven't been able to do that yet. But Patrick, both of these teams, outstanding seasons. Well, how do you have undefeated seasons? Because you're really good, but also because you know how to handle adversity. And Garner right now, this is a deficit. We'll see how they handle it.
Oh, beautiful cut to the right post by Moreland, couldn't finish, and a defensive rebound grab by the Garner Trojans. Dribble has been used, and now breaking a little bit of pressure. Bell into the forecourt, and there's another turnover on Garner. That's an offensive foul on Kanaya Bell. And that's at least 4 turnovers in this opening quarter for the Garner Trojans. And Caitlin Lee, number 25 in white, a sophomore, is in. And William Stigler talked specifically about Lee yesterday. Expects her to get more minutes than probably any other game this year, using her size to try and match up better on the inside with Moreland.
Yeah, and she's only a sophomore, but her importance today is going to be boxing out and really going in there with her height. 6'3", trying to dominate those sisters down low and really hold them down, try to push them out of the paint.
And Moreland grabbing another offensive rebound for Vance. This is Hayes, little floater in the lane. And the rebound saved nicely by Garner's Wilkins. And here come the Trojans on the run. This is what they like to do. But Darden had a pass deflected. And Lee tied him up. And the arrow will keep it with Garner.
For Garner, they've got to get the ball in Journey Kyaku's hands. She's their best ball handler. She's what makes this team go. Vance really trying to deny her the ball and keep it out of her hands.
And here is Kyaku on cue, into the lane, snaking through and scoring. Best ball handler, best creator, best player, best scorer.
And she hasn't really had the opportunity to turn on the jets, but when she gets it, she can go. And there's no one really that can keep up with her.
Well, it's a better look to the inside from Moreland, hitting Richardson for the bucket. It's 15-8 as we play inside the final 10 seconds of the quarter. Wilkins gives it off to Darden. She'll force a 3, leave it short, and it will land out of bounds as we draw the first quarter of the 4A state championships to a close. Strong start for the defending co-champs, who said one more year. This is wide. It's a 15-8 lead for Vance over Garner through 1.
Welcome to Harvest Farms, where the best organic or natural products are waiting for you, where the fields are filled with flavorful delights, and every bite is backed with the highest quality and attention. This is a place of affordable organic adventure, where freshness reigns supreme, that can only be found at Ingles. Harvest Farms Organics. You'll love what's inside.
Wake up with Hardee's.
The $3 Bacon, Egg, and Cheese Burrito. Fluffy egg, crispy bacon, and melty cheese. All wrapped up in a warm tortilla. The $3 Bacon, Egg, and Cheese Burrito. Part of Hardee's 2-3 More breakfast menu. Feed your happy.
I'm an apple tree kid.
I was an apple tree kid. Now I'm an apple tree parent.
At Apple Tree Daycare, we've kept our commitment as a leading child care provider and learning community since 1990.
Our 5-star facilities provide safe and educational spaces for your child. We keep germs away with zonal sanitation stations, and our degree teachers deliver Life Cubby daily reports to parents. We offer track in, track out, summer camp, and pre-K classes.
4 5-star locations serving Southeast Raleigh for 30 years.
If you've been injured in an accident, tell them you mean business. Call the law offices of James Scott Farron on the Hurt Line.
Divorce Court, weekdays at 4 and 4:30 on MyRDC 28.
This is the black dress. I'm the judge, and we're in the middle of a trial.
In the People's Court, Judge Millian rules.
He was getting violent.
I didn't know what else to do.
I want to kill him.
Get out of my courtroom!
Real justice. The People's Court.
Weekdays on MyRDC.
Well, if it isn't Big Hearty, you fixin' to sauce me up? Sick those beefy twins on this cheese hound? Scram, Big Mac, go play with your extra toy bun. The adults are getting meaty.
The Big Hearty, part of the buy one, get one for just $1 deal. Feed your happy.
All right, ready for the second quarter here from Wheatmore High School. 15-8, the early lead to the Vance Cougars. Patrick Keenis, Jay Sohnhalter with you as we get underway for the second quarter. And for William Stigler and the Garner Trojans, taking care of the basketball, getting their feet wet, and feeling comfortable here as they take on this very, very skilled Vance squad. And as I say that, a slip by Hayes and loses the basketball over the end line. Here's the points. The paint brought to you by James Scott Farron. 8-4, the advantage for Vance. Not unexpected.
That's the game plan. Pound the ball down low, play inside out. So far, 15 points. It's been working.
And what has also been working is keeping the ball out of the hands of Journey Kiaku, number 2 in the white Garner uniforms. They play through the high post. This is Euphonian. And the rebound to Amaya Moreland. A lot of second chance opportunities for Vance. Basically nil for Garner through the first quarter plus.
I think Garner really has to focus on their defense right now. Turn up the heat, get some turnovers. Good job in that last possession.
Well, a really nice draw of a second defender by Behringer and left it for Trinity Moreland, who picked up a couple of fouls in that opening quarter. First bucket for the younger Moreland sister on this squad, as a jumper is missed on the baseline, and another defensive rebound grabbed by Vance. Biggest lead of the game so far for the Cougars. They're up 9. But you're right, Kiaku creates a whole lot, especially on the defensive end. And she's working against Marshall here. Another high-low entry feed, and again it's Trinity Moreland, the recipient, and the lead grows to double figures for the first time.
Pick and roll, beautiful execution, nice play call with Moreland coming over, and then the look over the top by Marshall.
And that foul against Amaya Moreland on the inside.
Let's see down low, Behringer, nice look, drive and dish, bring the defender over. And this is an unselfish Vance team, and that's what makes them so good on the offensive end.
And they're very precise so far running their offensive sets. And this should not come as any surprise to William Stigler for Garner. He said if there's one thing he really does well is there's contact on the inside. Shot forced and missed by Bastion. But he watched every single piece of video and game evidence that he could find of Vance over the last several days. Knows what they run, knows how to defend it, but doing it in real time, in real person, is the challenge right now for Garner.
That's amazing, the coaches, the time they put in, the film study, and we talked both sides, and they feel like they know the tendencies, know what they like to do, know the players. Now it's all about execution out on the court today.
Garner in transition, and running right past the dribble was Euphonian, and she turns it over for Garner. Still an 11-point lead for Vance. Up fake and a clean strip by Wilkins. It will stay, however, with Vance.
Wilkins hustling back after that turnover. Let's see here, pushing the ball up the court. Nice strip. The ball out of bounds.
Well, just can't allow Moreland that type of inside position. This, though, is where Garner is lethal, but look at the chase down by Leah Behringer, the senior for the Cougars, denying what Garner needs, which is fast break transition points.
She's been one of the stars of Vance early on here. A couple big three-pointers. Nice drive and dish we just saw, and there the defensive effort.
And another giveaway by Garner. 3-on-3 for Vance. Hayes on the pull-up. And the rebound grabbed one more time on the offensive side by Vance. Jumper off the sideline, left short. Another offensive rebound blocked away on the inside by Garner, and then a tie-up. And the arrow to Garner. Well, there's no way Garner's going to pull off this win if they don't shore things up and figure out a way to get on the defensive glass. There's too many opportunities in his first half for Vance.
Yeah, they've got to get rebounds, and then they can't turn the ball over. And, for them, it's a simple game plan, and Vance makes it so tough. Again, they're trying to get the ball out of Kiaku's hands, and they're doing a pretty good job so far trying to force someone else to beat them.
And one bounces off for O'Finian. O'Finian, one of the rising players in this Garner program. Kiaku, a junior. O'Finian, number 15, is just a sophomore. So the future is still very bright for Garner as they play for a state title for the first time since Styx was a relevant band in the late 70s. 19-8 still our score. Vance on top. That was well before my time, by the way. I'm speaking for my oldest brother.
Yeah. I mean, the older brother. That's his band.
Yeah. Behringer looks inside, deep position again. Moreland. And Trinity Moreland on the bench a lot of that first quarter with a couple of fouls. Trusting her on the floor to post up without fouling. 6 points the first half.
With her height down low, 6'2", and her ability to set up on the block, she's just so tough to defend. She's so fundamentally sound. It's been a big focus so far.
Off-balance jumper that was wide open, missed by Bassett. It was interesting that Kiaku had her first real clean look at the rim and elected to pass instead. 21-8 is the Cougars' lead.
And sometimes, when teams are really focused on defending you and slowing you down, sometimes you've got to force the issue. Maybe take a shot you wouldn't normally take, but she's got to look for her shot and be aggressive.
Behringer's had the hot hand, misses a rare three. Rebound Garner, and now out in transition. Kiaku attacks, and that one just spun out of there. But Kiaku to the line for Garner. 3:48 left in the first half of the 4A Women's Championship. So far, all Vance.
I was in a tight unit, being airborne. We always believe in, being first to fight. Once I got hurt, it seemed like, I was left out there alone. I thought about Jean and Riddle, that they'd handled this other accident case for me. I said that before I knew it, I was 100% qualified for my VA disabilities, without a shadow of a doubt. I'm not going to tell them. I'm going to hand carry them to Riddle and Brantley.
Riddle and Brantley, when justice counts.
Get ready for this week's matchup on Friday Night Rivals.
Hi, I'm Jay Sunhalter, and this week is the season premiere of Friday Night Rivals. We've got a great matchup as Wakefield travels to Rollsville for the team's conference opener. Both squads have high expectations in the loaded Northern Athletic Conference. We're live on Friday night.
Watch each week as the area's best high schools battle for victory. Experience it live Friday night on MyRDC 28. MyRDC Friday Night Rivals, presented by West Shore Home.
A 21-9 Vance lead, waning moments of this second quarter. There's a look at the head coach for the Garner Trojans, William Stigler, who teaches the junior ROTC program at Garner. And we talked about this a little bit earlier. So Lawrence Dunn was the head coach of that 1978 state championship team for Garner. 3 of the players off that team are here: Teresa Brown, Gwen Evans, and Gail Pittman. Now, Journey Kiaku right there on your screen, number 2 for Garner. Her dad, Jerome, is good friends with Teresa Brown, one of those players off of that 78 title team. She was the one who then reached out to Coach Dunn and brought a couple of her teammates here to Wheatmore High to root on Garner today.
It was a special moment. I was down near the locker room before the ball game and saw those former players and Coach Dunn there, and they had a moment with the team, and just so much pride seeing them down there, being here to support this team that's had such a great year. And I played for Coach Dunn 2 years in high school at Athens Drive, and a great person and somebody that loves the game.
Yeah, we were talking with Coach Stigler. Did he have any history with Coach Dunn, or had he just been reached out to him as an offensive foul goes on Moreland? That's a big one for Vance. And he said, no, I've never met him before. And I said, well, if you wanted to address the team, how would you handle that? He said, I would love it if he would talk to our team and those players, because Garner is such a tight-knit community. They love their sports, a huge history, especially in men's basketball and football. And they back their squads like really no other city and no other high school in the Triangle.
Well, the thing that's so special is when you're out there playing, you're not only playing for your teammates and your coaches and your parents, you're playing for the community. You're playing for those former players and everybody that supports you. And this is a big moment for them, and so many people are pulling, for the Vance community and for Garner on both sides.
21-10, the Vance lead inside 3 minutes for the first half. This is Amaya Moreland kicking to the sideline, Hayes. And they're using that free throw line area, the high post, with their centers.
Garner switch up to the zone defense. They're going to have to get more ball pressure here because Vance just kind of passing the ball in the perimeter, facing no pressure.
And an easy shot, hands down for the defender, and Moreland knocks down another bucket. So the Moreland sisters combined for 13 here in this first half.
From Maya, that's the part of her game that's expanded so much. She's going to Old Dominion next year. That outside jumper is so important at the college level to have that balance in your game.
And that foul goes against Amaya Moreland. That is 2 on her.
Look at her range right there. No hand in her face. Okay, I'll shoot it. We've seen her dominate down on the block. They're stepping out. A nice stroke from the outside.
And now the Garner Trojans at the NC 529 free throw line with the NC 529 plan. It's never too early or too late to start saving for education. And one more coming up for Kanaya Bell. One of 2 for Bell. Stick back miss by Wilkins. And then a near turnover. Oh, look at Wilkins diving after it. That's the effort the Garner Trojans need to be ratcheted up to force some disruptions and maybe lead to some turnovers.
And that's something her teammates need to look at and say, hey, we've got to pick it up. Because Wilkins are diving on the floor, being physical. Yeah, you don't want a foul called, but it's the effort that they need.
All right, a reminder, stay tuned for the Hardy's Feed Your Happy halftime report. We'll have a special interview with Q Tucker, the commissioner of the NCHSAA. First half highlights and more. And again, another Garner player dives on the floor. This time, Naima Hicks, and forces the foul from Imani Washington of Vance. So that's at least a promising, encouraging sign for the Garner Trojans.
And that effort can be contagious. 2 good defensive stands right there. That's something William Stigler hopes his team can build on.
And now it's Naima Hicks, one of 4 seniors on this Garner team, to the free throw line for the first time today. And one more coming. Garner has been kind of hit and miss this year from the foul line. We did a regular season game a few weeks ago against Apex Friendship. Plenty of talent on this team, but left quite a few points on the line. And when you're down double digits in the state championship game, these are imperative.
Well, that's an area we talked in the open about. William Stigler wanted them to be 70% or higher. He knew that they were going to get to the line, but he really wanted his team to focus because that's an area that he knew they were going to have to win and have efficient free throw shooting percentage to win today.
Well, Garner just a little bit more active here defensively in that zone. A takeaway of the steal by Bashan, but then Vance takes it right away at midcourt, and a timeout taken by the Vance Cougars as Danelle Ryan started to see that defensive and then offensive opportunity slip away.
But he sees his team 10-point lead. We're doing well, but you do not want the momentum to shift going into the break here. And he could feel Garner picking up steam. That was a good timeout. Slow his team down.
All right, 10-point lead for Vance. A reminder, at the conclusion of today's game, we'll be selecting the West Shore Home Player of the Game. Let West Shore Home convert your old bathtub into a modern and spacious walk-in shower in just one day. 23-13, Vance up by 10. And so far, the mission is being accomplished by the Cougars, but a long way to go. Again, their road here to the state championship this year, knocking off South Meck easily. Jordan by 22. That regional semifinal come from behind win over Independence, and then took out the 3-seed Providence 57-41. Meanwhile, for Garner, it was a little bit rockier road to get here. They took a last-second shot to beat Heritage in the second round, and then they rallied past Ashley, the top seed, to win by 6. That was a game that featured Sanaya Rivers, the number 3 national high school recruit for Ashley, going to South Carolina to play for Dawn Staley. She scored 27 in the first half, but then Kyaku scored 24 in the second half as Garner rallied for the win.
Vance just stalling here, using the clock. It almost looks like they're willing to wait and shoot the last shot. Garner's going to have to bring out the defensive pressure. They're staying in the zone defense, and now we see coming out here.
This is like how the first possession of the game began for Vance. A reminder, at the conclusion of today's game, we'll be selecting the Hardy's Feed Your Happy Play of the Game. That's coming up post-game. Foul charge against Hicks of Garner. 31 seconds left. I mean, when you're playing with a lead, you're comfortable in the half-court set, and your opponent is playing a 2-3 zone that's not terribly active, you can mothball things. And Vance comfortable taking the last shot here. Hayes spins, locates Washington out of the corner, and that bounces off another offensive rebound. That one won't go down, and it's out of bounds to Garner with 16 seconds left.
Garner catching a break there. And the boxing out down low, that has to be something they've got to get better at here in the second half. Vance just dominating the offensive glass.
Well, this final possession has to get in Kiyaku's hand. She has only 4 points in this first half. The skip gets it to her with 10. Hicks returns to Kiyaku, trying to get involved before halftime. Stepping through, lost the handle, and a jump ball called, and it's Vance basketball on the arrow. And a little shake of the head by Journey Kiyaku. Things had not been simple in this opening half.
Well, it's tough when you average 26 a game. Every team is going to target you to try to slow you down, and right now Vance sending multiple defenders at her.
Important for the Trojans to deny a half-court heave off glass, just long from Tanasia Hayes. But the Vance Cougars up by 10, Jay, looking to complete the mission. How does Garner get back into this one?
Garner's got to turn up the heat on the defensive end, create turnovers. Their pace is fast, and they average over 71 points per game, so right now the pace is in Vance's back.
All right, the halftime report brought to you by Hardee's is on the way for a women's championship game. The lead of 10 belongs to the Vance Cougars.
Wake up with Hardee's. The $3 bacon, egg, and cheese burrito. Fluffy egg, crispy bacon, and melty cheese. All wrapped up in a warm tortilla. The $3 bacon, egg, and cheese burrito. Part of Hardee's 2-3 more breakfast menu. Feed your happy.
You're watching My RDC Kids.
The loss of a loved one can be overwhelming. Knowing your family will be prepared for the next steps can be comforting. When you pre-plan your services with Haywood Funeral Home, you have the peace of mind of knowing that all the arrangements will be met ahead of time and to your satisfaction. Pre-planning lets your wishes be known and lets your family relax and celebrate the life of their loved one. Contact us for a pre-planned consultation. Haywood Funeral Home, our family serving yours for generations.
Get ready for this week's matchup on Friday Night Rivals.
Hi, I'm Jay Sunhalter, and this week is the season premiere of Friday Night Rivals. We've got a great matchup as Wakefield travels to Rollsville for the team's conference opener. Both squads have high expectations in the loaded Northern Athletic Conference. We're live on Friday night.
Watch each week as the area's best high schools battle for victory. Experience it live Friday night on My RDC 28. My RDC Friday Night Rivals, presented by West Shore Home.
Next time a baby goes missing, a mother stands accused.
I would never hurt Kendall.
Law and Order SVU.
Monday at 8 on My RDC.
This is the black dress. I'm the judge, and we're in the middle of a trial.
In the People's Court, Judge Millian rules.
He was getting violent.
I didn't know what else to do.
I want to kill him.
Get out of my courtroom!
Real justice. The People's Court.
Weekdays on My RDC.
Well, if it isn't Big Hardy, you fixin' to sauce me up? Sick those beefy twins on this cheese hound? Scram, Big Mac, go play with your extra toy bun. The adults are getting meaty.
The Big Hardy, part of the buy one, get one for just $1 deal. Feed your happy.
We're talking with Paul Janoski of West Shore Home. Hi, Paul. Thank you for talking with us. How is West Shore Home different from working with other home improvement companies?
Hey, thanks for asking, Jay, and thanks for having us. The home improvement industry is plagued by complaints of cheap work, poor quality, unmet expectations. So we decided to reinvent home remodeling. At West Shore Home, we believe you deserve a better, safer, and easier home improvement project. So we made our process risk-free, easy design process, trusted installation, and convenient financing.
Why do you feel it's so important for West Shore Home to support high school sports?
Here at West Shore Home, our #1 goal is bringing happiness to every home. We're here to support families and children in all of their home improvement projects, as well as their outside activities from the home. That's why for anyone watching this right now, we're going to give you an additional $500 off on our current sale price.
Paul, tell the viewers how important this offer really is.
Yeah, this offer is absolutely huge. It's one of the biggest offers we've ever put out there. We believe that homeowners deserve a better, safer, and easier home improvement project, and this will just make it even easier for them. That $500 off all our current sale prices.
Thank you for your time, and it's great to have your support as our championship sponsor.
Get ready for this week's matchup on Friday Night Rivals.
Hi, I'm Jay Sunhalter, and this week is the season premiere of Friday Night Rivals. We've got a great matchup as Wakefield travels to Rollsville for the team's conference opener. Both squads have high expectations in the loaded Northern Athletic Conference. We're live on Friday night.
Watch each week as the area's best high schools battle for victory. Experience it live Friday night on MyRDC 28. MyRDC Friday Night Rivals, presented by West Shore Home.
This is the black dress. I'm the judge, and we're in the middle of a trial.
In the People's Court, Judge Millian rules.
How can you accept that?
Say it, forget it, write it, regret it.
Real people.
She made a collage of my pictures. Naked pictures? Yeah. Wow.
Real cases.
He was getting violent.
I didn't know what else to do.
I want to kill him.
Get out of my courtroom.
Real drama.
What's the age difference between you two?
40 years.
Did you let him in on the paternity test? No. Oh, my God.
Real justice. The People's Court.
Weekdays on MyRDC.
It's a fact. We use our internet and TV more than ever, with most of us spending nearly 7 hours a day online. So it's no wonder thousands of families are switching to Spectrum, because most families have up to 8 connected devices, which means they need even more speed. Switch to Spectrum Internet and get the fastest starting speeds for the price. 200 megabits for just $44.99 a month, with a free modem and free security suite included. Call 833-546-4499. When it comes to TV, we're watching more than ever. In fact, 80% of us watch TV every day. Spectrum TV lets you catch all your favorite sports, news, and more live. Plus, download the free Spectrum TV app and watch on your devices. Switch to Spectrum TV from $44.99 a month. Call 833-546-4499. The fact is, Spectrum has the best services at the best price. Switch to Spectrum Internet and TV from $44.99 a month each with no contracts. We'll even buy out your current contract. Call 833-546-4499.
4A Women's State Championship. The lead belongs to Vance, up 10 on Garner. Well, let's sit down with everybody's friend at the North Carolina High School Athletic Association, the commissioner, Q Tucker.
Commissioner, thank you for your time today. It's been a long road to get to these championships. We're finally here, though. Did you feel like we'd make it to this point here today, to these games?
Well, Jay, thank you, first of all, for allowing me this opportunity. And it is good to be here. It has been a long road. And if you think about it, it's been just about a year since we stopped everything and we're on the verge of playing our state championships and had to stop. So once we shut down last year and moved along, we certainly had hoped that things would be different. But I can tell you that as we moved into the fall of the year, started our first series of sports in November, and then when basketball officially kicked off on December 7th, I had my doubts. So to be here today and know that we are going to play state basketball championship games on Saturday is a thrilling moment, and I'm delighted.
What were some of those key factors that helped these teams in the NCHSAA membership get to these basketball championships?
Well, I think number one was finally the acceptance that, this is real. The pandemic is real, and we're trying to play through it, and we're trying to do so as safely as we possibly can. And so once that realization kicked in that, hey, we do have the opportunity, I think there became a real commitment on the part of coaches and the players themselves. They really had to accept that it is what it is, and we're going to wear these masks, and we're going to play our game, and we're going to do everything we can to make it happen. And then I think the flexibility. Once teams had to be shut down for a week or two, that coaches and athletic directors were willing to work their schedules so that games could be rescheduled as much as possible. I think those were contributing factors more than anything else. And I'm very appreciative of how our coaches worked and really the buy-in from the players themselves, which I think is very important.
What do you think are some of those bright spots that have come from all the work during this pandemic?
Well, I think one is that our athletic directors have done an absolutely wonderful job at their, they're that front line or that person that's in the building every day with their coaches and with the athletes. So I think the bright spot is their leadership. Many of them have participated in Zoom opportunities where they could hone their skills, where they've shared ideas to talk about ways to get through the pandemic. They've encouraged each other. So I want to give a shout out to them first and foremost. And then I think the bright spot has been the commitment on the part of our student athletes. Those who have played, I think they have committed. And I am hopeful that they've learned lessons that will last a lifetime, lessons such as perseverance, the commitment to do things differently. And that if you can do that and you can be flexible and learn how to adapt, then, you're going to be successful in many other ways.
Yeah, and Commissioner, we appreciate your time so much and all the hard work that you and your team's done this season. And we're really excited, looking forward to the game Saturday.
Well, I am too. And, my staff is excited. We live for state championships. And so there's been a buzz here in the office that we hadn't experienced in quite a while. So I appreciate their hard work and really thank you guys for the opportunity to bring the games into the homes of our spectators who won't be able to get to those games on Saturday. So again, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Wake up with Hardee's. The $3 bacon, egg, and cheese burrito. Fluffy egg, crispy bacon, and melty cheese. All wrapped up in a warm tortilla. The $3 bacon, egg, and cheese burrito. Part of Hardee's 2-3 more breakfast menu. Feed your happy. Wake up with Hardee's. The $3 bacon, egg, and cheese burrito. Fluffy egg, crispy bacon, and melty cheese. All wrapped up in a warm tortilla. The $3 bacon, egg, and cheese burrito. Part of Hardee's 2-3 more breakfast menu. Feed your happy.
Get ready for this week's matchup on Friday Night Rivals.
Hi, I'm Jay Sunhalter, and this week is the season premiere of Friday Night Rivals. We've got a great matchup as Wakefield travels to Rollsville for the team's conference opener. Both squads have high expectations in the loaded Northern Athletic Conference. We're live on Friday night.
Watch each week as the area's best high schools battle for victory. Experience it live Friday night on MyRDC 28. MyRDC Friday Night Rivals, presented by West Shore Home.
Well, if it isn't Big Hardy, you fixin' to sauce me up? Sick those beefy twins on this cheese hound? Scram, Big Mac, go play with your extra toy bun. The adults are getting meaty.
The Big Hardy, part of the buy one, get one for just $1 deal. Feed your happy.
Well, if it isn't Big Hardy, you fixin' to sauce me up? Sick those beefy twins on this cheese hound? Scram, Big Mac, go play with your extra toy bun. The adults are getting meaty.
The Big Hardy, part of the buy one, get one for just $1 deal. Feed your happy.
For a women's basketball championships, Patrick Keenis, Jay Sohnhalter. Welcome back to the Hardee's Feed Your Happy halftime report. 10-point lead for Vance, 23-13. And Jay, some stats and highlights from this opening half. And the first thing that sticks out as we take a look at some of the highlights, a couple of early threes made by Behringer, but the Moreland sisters for Vance have combined for a big half, 13 points, 11 rebounds.
They're dominating down low, and that outside shooting forced the Garner defenders to come out on the perimeter. Leah Behringer firing from the outside, and then Moreland here had an open shot. She took it, but those two really playing through each other. But it's been the unselfish play that's allowed easy scoring opportunities.
That high-low action has really worked well. 10 offensive rebounds for Vance in the first half. Meanwhile, for Garner, just not enough of Journey Kiaku. 4 points on 1 of 2 shooting. She needs to shoot about 10 or 12 times in this second half to have a shot. Look at the field goals. Only 2 made field goals in the half for Garner. Almost all of their offense came from the foul line.
And Vance defense has been outstanding, and Garner is going to have to push it up the court. Kiaku's got to look for a shot, be aggressive, and then those rebounds. They've got to find a way to box out to limit the Vance opportunities on the offensive end, and then the defensive end push the ball out to an outlet passer and then get the ball up the floor.
All right, 10 turnovers by Garner, 9 from Vance. You see the rebounding edge, a strong one, particularly on the offensive glass. 10 O boards for Vance compared to 5 for Garner. But as the teams went to the locker room here at halftime of the state championship, 15 minutes were put on the clock. The Garner Trojans were back on the court with 11:20 left in halftime. So it must have been a very direct, very stern message from William Stigler. And he sent his team back onto the court and was done with them and was hoping that maybe their energy and their confidence and the urgency of the moment arrives for them.
Well, you're right. It's the urgency. They've got to get going in this first couple minutes here. The second half is going to be so important. Now, one thing they did do well was get to the free throw line, 10 attempts. Their goal was 70% or higher. They hit 9 out of 10, so that's a positive area. But they've got to drive, get contact, get to the line, and get something going early on to get some momentum. We saw, Patrick, a couple defensive stands where they started to get some momentum, but they have to do that more consistently here in the second half.
So a 23-13 halftime lead for Vance, and the Moreland sisters have not disappointed in this opening half. Well, you're watching the 2021 4A Women's State Basketball Championships. Patrick Keenis and Jay Sonhalter, game presented by West Shore Home. Glad to have you with us. And, man, are we thankful to be here, because we were scheduled for all of these state championship games last year. It was the week the pandemic really began. The dominoes began to fall. And this Vance team did not have an opportunity to claim the solo title, so they shared it as we take a look at the James Scott Farron points to paint, and a decisive advantage for the Cougars.
Their goal was to be here today and dominate and play their style. And 14 points in the paint. We talked about playing inside out, getting the ball down into the paint. And right now, the execution, the game plan, everything is going in the way of the Cougars. They just have to continue that here in the second half. Now, foul trouble could be an issue, but that's an area down low. They feel like they have the advantage, and they're using it.
So there's a look at Danelle Ryan. Had a really enjoyable conversation with him yesterday. We talked about the COVID year that his team has suffered. We mentioned it earlier in the broadcast about how despondent and distraught his players and the administrative staff was when the game was not played last year for the state title. And I said, well, what about this year? How has it gone? He said, well, we were ecstatic when we saw the 14-game schedule come out after the delay. We played 3 games. We found our rhythm. And then the AD called me and said, I need to speak to you in my office. And he said, I know what that sound, I know that tone. This is not going to be a good meeting. And he found out that the entire Charlotte Mecklenburg school system was put on a pause for, I believe, 24 days. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't practice. They couldn't do any conditioning. The kids were back at home. They were shooting hoops in their driveway because the local Ys and local gyms were also closed. They didn't come back until February the 16th. Took them a while to find their rhythm. And here they are playing for the state championship. Early 3 by Nia Wilkins of Garner. Brought to you by your local Nissan dealers. And it's down to a 7-point lead for Vance.
Good start here for Garner. But back to that point, working out. And Coach Ryan having trust in his team to get those shots up, to do push-ups in the driveway, that they would be in condition when play resumed.
All right, tighter defense on the interior there by Garner, forcing his shot. Offensive rebound by Trinity Moreland. And you see Garner just kind of jumping around a little bit more, but there is Leah Behringer again. The utility knife, she is called by the Vance Cougars. Knocks down her 3rd 3 of this championship.
She's locked down on the defensive end. She's been on Kiaku, but this outside shooting for her has been so important to stretch out the defenders to open up the paint area.
Missed 3 by Wilkins, trying to trump Behringer's 3rd 3. Minute gone by, third quarter. Vance up by 10. Deep position again. And Amaya Moreland is eating some lunch down low on the block, and a nice soft touch off the glass. And there is Kiyaku finally knocking down a jumper, slashing to the hole.
Now 6 points on the game, but that's how quick she can go. She's got to continue to try to drive in the paint and just look for her shot. Now on the other end with Moreland, that possession, she just knows how to set up her body, especially on the low block, position herself, really puts the defender in a tough spot.
Well, these state championship games for the best caliber basketball players in the state, these are games where the stars shine. So for somebody with the history and the profile as Journey Kiyaku, her time is now for the Garner Trojans as they now trail by 12.
As Hayes down low, she's committed to FIU. This is a Vance team that's so loaded with prospects. A lot of college coaches coming by to watch them, and so much potential as well in the younger classes.
And this is Hicks misfiring for Garner, and another one and done for the Trojans to trail by 12. Now you get the closeout by a phone in against Behringer in that corner. Really need to honor the three-point line against her as Marshall sets one loose. And a good job running down the rebound of Phoning on the move. Has an angle, but a 1-on-3. It's a charge on Garner's Amira Phonian. Well, it's pretty obvious to get an idea what the message was. The brief message was at halftime from William Stigler, show me energy, show me urgency, show me Garner basketball we've seen this year.
And you saw there being physical now. How about Hayes setting up there, taking the contact? That's so tough when you know you're going to get hit, get run over, to stay in position, keep your feet square, but she did it.
That's an important foul for Garner, number 3 on Nia Wilkins. But she gave up inside position to Trinity Moreland, and nothing she could do other than concede the layup, but hack. So Moreland to the line. 6 points in the first half. And Vance calmly taking a little counter punch here from Garner in this third quarter as the first free throw is made. So one more coming from Moreland from the NC 529 free throw line. With the NC 529 plan, it's never too early or too late to start saving for education. A very workmanlike effort so far for the Vance Cougars. Up by 14, biggest of the game. The runner with the left hand is missed by Hicks. Got her own follow. That won't go either, and Moreland tears away another rebound. But there's another offensive possession. There's no touch at all for Journey Kiyaku.
Yeah, they've got to move the ball around, and she's got to touch it every time. And really, she needs to bring the ball up the court. She's their best decision maker as well.
And more free throws coming up for Vance. When you talk about ball movement and a plan of attack, as Kiyaku called for the foul, I mean, they're overloading one side of the floor, looking opposite, quick passes, catching Garner out of position.
The unselfish play. Everybody's touching the ball. It puts so much pressure on the defense.
And back at the line, Trinity Moreland from the NC 529 free throw line. 32-18. Vance leading by 14 points. 1 of 2 for Moreland. Moreland, a junior. Amaya Moreland is a year older, a senior. Both on the floor here. Amaya wearing 44, Trinity wearing 33. And Garner will sub in Adriana Mosley, a sophomore, in for Hicks. But again, every offensive possession when you're down 15 in a state title game has to go through your star, number 2. And Kiyaku gives it to Aphonian, a rising star, leaves that 3 well short. And Garner, so far in this contest, has made only 4 field goals all game.
Vance switching to a zone defense there, really load up the paint area and force Garner into outside shots.
Moreland high-low for her sister. Good save and a fingertip grab by Trinity Moreland. Snaking in Hayes. Locates Marshall out of the corner. And again, Garner beaten to the spot for the defensive rebound. Moreland was on the block, couldn't get around her. And another over-the-top foul on the Trojans on Aphinian.
Vance is getting into position. They're just staying lower, bending their knees, and Garner is looking for the bounce instead of finding a player to get contact with. They're looking and they're just losing out on these boards.
Deflected pass, handled by Moreland, shovels it away, and that was tipped out by Kyaku. 33-18, Vance leading by 15. Behringer, another one. Fourth of the game for Leah Behringer. One of the seniors who were really committed to last year's two graduating seniors off this Cougar team who did not have a chance to play in a game that these players are playing in today, as that one is swatted out of bounds by Amaya Moreland.
She's been a star on the offensive end. On the defensive end, though, she's creating havoc, slowing down Kyaku, and at the top of that zone defense, jumping in passing lanes.
Entry pass and a short jumper on the inside. There is Caitlin Lee, and that has been the easiest bucket of the game for the Garner Trojans, but they need more. 36-20. Again, they play it through the high post. The return to an open Behringer. Oh, what a championship Leah Behringer is having. Another three from Behringer. Timeout, Garner. 19-point bulge for Vance. And the asterisk may be being erased for the Cougars thanks to Leah Behringer. Vance up 19.
We at Haywood Funeral Home want you to know that during these uncertain times, as we experience the coronavirus pandemic, our operations regarding funerals have changed as we comply with changing industry guidelines. We will continue to offer compassionate and professional service to all. As always, we remain devoted as a pillar of support and comfort for the community. Haywood Funeral Home, our family serving yours for generations.
Get ready for this week's matchup on Friday Night Rivals.
Hi, I'm Jay Sunhalter, and this week is the season premiere of Friday Night Rivals. We've got a great matchup as Wakefield travels to Rollsville for the team's conference opener. Both squads have high expectations in the loaded Northern Athletic Conference. We're live on Friday night.
Watch each week as the area's best high schools battle for victory. Experience it live Friday night on MyRDC 28. MyRDC Friday Night Rivals, presented by West Shore Home.
Leah Behringer for the Vance Cougars has knocked down 5 threes in this state title game. The lead is 19 for the Vance Cougars, and a shell-shot Garner Trojan squad trying to knife their way back into it for this title. Takeaway by Hayes in transition for a rare moment, and more free throws on the way for the Vance Cougars.
Behringer down low, fighting for that rebound. She's doing everything for the Cougars, and you know, when you're in the zone, it's a special place to be in right now. Everything is clicking for Behringer. Her teammates are finding her, and she's doing all the little things as well.
Yeah, Behringer, a 3-year starter on this Vance team at the line, and that's her first non-three-pointer point of the game. So 16 total for Behringer, and one more from the NC 529 free throw line. With the NC 529 plan, never too early or too late to start saving for education. Third foul on Afinian. She will sit for Garner. Hicks returns, and Mosley checks off the floor as well. Well, when we talked with Danelle Ryan yesterday, reflecting back on last year's team that, again, was the co-champs, didn't get to play in the state title because of the COVID-19 pandemic, Coach Ryan was named the Charlotte Observer Coach of the Year. He was happy with the award, but he really kind of took umbrage of the fact that none of his players were on the all-area team. So he felt like, I didn't deserve the credit, the players did, but you really don't completely respect my program because the players did it and you're not acknowledging them. A game like this, a season like this, is going to remedy that. As a three from Marshall. Offensive rebound tipped around, and a joust, and we get a jump ball called, and it will stay with Vance.
Well, and he could use that as motivation. You know, something as a goal, as a driving force going into this season. And, you know, his team has been on a mission this year.
41-22 lead for Vance. A reminder, we'll be selecting the Hardys Feed Your Happy Play of the Game later on in this second half. Trinity Moreland with her first field goal of this second half, and the lead just continues to swell for the unbeaten top seed out of the West. And now you're just seeing Garner really force it, not really running their offense as we've seen. Open jumper here for Marshall. And another offensive rebound, a third crack, and that will roll in. And the Garner Trojans right now are on life support.
That was Behringer again down low, her and Moreland, and tipping that ball to each other.
Well, that's what Garner needed in the first half. Journey Kyaku creating, finding some room on the baseline. 21-point lead for Vance, 2 minutes left, third quarter. Behringer slides in a deep bounce pass. Moreland off the mark, but still fighting. Shovel pass to her sister. No foul there, and Garner clears. And here's Kyaku in the open floor. A beautiful Eurostep spins it in. Journey Kyaku right around Tanisha Hayes.
That's Kyaku's game. The agility, the speed, the athleticism. Doesn't matter where defender is set up, she can get around him.
And now look at Kyaku marching to pick up Hayes at midcourt, but then break into the baseline. Who else? Leah Behringer with the and one opportunity for Vance. She has 15 points in this third quarter and 21 for the game.
So there's a back cut. Great look by Hayes. Behringer setting up her defender going towards the three-point line, then boom, back cut. Hit her in stride for the and one opportunity.
Well, we talk about state championships creating legendary moments and legendary stars. Hello, legendary star. Meet Leah Behringer, the senior for the Vance Cougars. Has she ever had a quarter like this in her life? 16 points in 6.5 minutes for Behringer in this third quarter.
You just love to see players step up, rise to the occasion when your team needs you the most, when the pressure's on. And she's really just played an outstanding game.
Hicks the miss. Vance again in transition. The touch pass looking for Behringer. Moreland looking for the hot hand. A reminder, make your next meal easy with Wegmans Meals to Go. Order hot pizza and wings, fresh subs, sushi, and more for delivery, carryout, or curbside pickup. Minute 2 left in the third quarter. 48-26 Vance. And more free throws on the way for Trinity Moreland.
These Moreland sisters, so talented, so skilled. They're really smart and know how to set up their defenders to gain leverage. There, she did a little cut towards the inside, then went towards the baseline, and Trinity had the position to get the contact.
First free throw missed by Moreland. A reminder coming up toward the end of this championship, we'll be selecting the West Shore Home Player of the Game. Let West Shore Home convert your old bathtub into a modern and spacious walk-in shower in just one day. I have a hunch on who the leading candidate is going to be for our Player of the Game. 1 of 2 for Moreland. 49-26 Vance. Inside a minute for the third. Peyton Billings, a sophomore, on the floor for the first time for Garner. As that three is missed by Hicks. And the stick back is also missed on the inside by Bastion. And Vance will see if they elect to try and waste the final 40 seconds and take the final shot of this third. They throw to the inside and throw it away. Danelle Ryan just still coaching his team up on that Vance sideline. The blinders are on. You're not even paying attention to the scoreboard here. You just want to coach them hard for 8 more minutes. In a moment of history. Foul charge against Behringer. Trouble for Garner. That's Behringer's first foul.
And, you know, it's so tough to defend this Vance team. It's been Garner trying to really slow down the post players, and that's what allowed those perimeter shots to be wide open for Behringer.
Kyaku at the NC 529 free throw line. Been a nice quarter for Kyaku. 49-27 is the Garner disadvantage. And Kyaku now 8 points in the quarter, 12 for the game. At a time where her offensive numbers started to pile up, this game was already out of control. 49-28 Vance. There's Behringer again, leaping catch, looking for room, and now passes it away. On the take, Hayes to the rim, and Hayes picks up her second field goal of the quarter. 10 seconds left. Kyaku attacking, contact, and she'll head to the foul line with 7 seconds left in the third. And there's number 2 on Behringer.
Usually you see fast break opportunities off missed shots or quick outlet. That was a nice shot. And she just dribbled up and beat the defenders back. And there wasn't a lot there, but she knows how to draw those fouls and get to the line.
Yeah, that's what has a lot of kind of mid-major programs really salivating for Journey Kyaku, just how fast she was getting it down the floor. I mean, she's had some conversations with FAU, with Mississippi State, NC Central just kind of reached out a few days ago to her to kind of feel her out ahead of her collegiate career. She has one more year left, and Kyaku knocks down a couple of free throws.
And she has what you can't coach. It's that speed, that ball handling ability to lead a team from the point guard position.
3 seconds left at midcourt. Hayes with 1. Will she get it off? She will, and it counts. And it's the day of the Vance Cougars in the 4A state final. Everything coming up 7s for Vance, and they are 8 minutes away from a solo state championship. Up 53-30 on Garner.
Don't just do it yourself. Yes! Do it for yourself.
Get ready for this week's matchup on Friday Night Rivals.
Hi, I'm Jay Sunhalter, and this week is the season premiere of Friday Night Rivals. We've got a great matchup as Wakefield travels to Rollsville for the team's conference opener. Both squads have high expectations in the loaded Northern Athletic Conference. We're live on Friday night.
Watch each week as the area's best high schools battle for victory. Experience it live Friday night on MyRDC 28. MyRDC Friday Night Rivals, presented by West Shore Home.
You're watching MyRDC Kids.
Next time a baby goes missing, a mother stands accused.
I would never hurt Kendall.
Law and Order SVU.
Monday at 8 on MyRDC.
This is the black dress. I'm the judge, and we're in the middle of a trial.
In the People's Court, Judge Millian rules.
He was getting violent.
I didn't know what else to do.
I want to kill him.
Get out of my courtroom.
Real justice. The People's Court.
Weekdays on MyRDC.
53-30 lead for Vance going to the fourth quarter. And Jay, let's revisit our Ingles food for thought keys.
Well, Garner hasn't won on the glass. That's an area that they've got to pick up here in the fourth quarter and making their free throws. They've done a good job of that. Now, Vance slowing down the ball game. Garner only 30 points per game. 30 points right now. They averaged over 70 once. They've been able to slow it down here, and that's really been the biggest factor in this game.
I didn't see any key on there on stopping Leah Behringer, number 1 of Vance. An otherworldly third quarter for the senior Behringer. 16 points in an 8-minute quarter. Made 3 threes, 3 free throws, a couple of other field goals. And a 23-point lead for Vance, and now they'll slow things down until they find an open player on the baseline, and Moreland misses. And there's Amaya missing, and Trinity gets it right back. And a third crack, all from short range, all missed. But a foul charged against Garner, and free throws on the way for Vance. Bastion called for the foul. We'll take a look at our points in the paint, presented by the law offices of James Scott Farron. As Moreland sends the first of 2 on its way long from the Riddle and Brantley free throw line. 53-30 is the Vance lead on Garner. Well, as expected, Vance has dominated on the inside. Was not expected to be a strength of Garner. They wanted to be out in transition, get to the free throw line, slash to the hole. But the Moreland sisters have done the job, as that number indicates. 28-12 advantage for Vance in the paint. This is Bastion off the baseline. Rebound ripped out of there, and this is now a jailbreak. 4-on-1. Lead bounce pass to Moreland. Behind the back save to Marshall, who gets the return pass. And if it weren't a 24-point lead, she would have taken that one. A beautiful look to the inside, and there's Trinity Moreland for the bucket. And just no reply today by the Garner Trojans. 56-30 in favor of Vance. And there's a steal by Behringer. Takes a look over her shoulder, taps the gas, throttles up, and scores again. A little hesitation on the wing. I think Garner thought there were too many points on the board, that Behringer would slow it down. Not today, not for a state title. Leah Behringer is the headline for Vance. 24 of Vance's 58 points and a timeout called.
And today, the free throw shooting, the outside shooting, driving to the paint, her defense, everything has been clicking. Moreland and Hayes. There's been so many pieces for Vance that have all contributed. It's been the ability to break down the defense of Garner and get to the rim, drive and dish, unselfish play. Coach Ryan has to be so happy with how his team's performing.
Yeah, first time that I've seen Behringer play in person. She just has kind of a wily, innate ability, basketball IQ off the charts. I mean, that was a beautiful little hesitation move. But she's shown the ability here, and she's been their second or third scoring option most of this year, Behringer has. But boy, has she stepped into the center of the spotlight today for a state title.
She's got that leadership ability with her experience and a calm presence out on the floor.
This is Kiyoko missing from three. The rebound to Behringer. 58-30. Garner did not see this coming. And this is Behringer again, speeding toward the hole. A little bit strong, and a tie-up for the rebound between Hicks of Garner and Moreland. And the arrow will keep it here. And is Vance up by 28. And there's a bounce pass. Behringer beating Hicks and lays it home. 26 for Behringer. And at the other end, a quick attempt is missed by Wilkins of Garner. As time is not the ally of the Trojans. Euphonian in the lane. But a quiet day for both of the young stars for Garner, with Kiyoko and Euphonian.
For Garner, a lot of players coming back to next year's team. Euphonian, post player, it's continuing to grow and get better. Bright future for her.
Yeah, and I think that's what will be, we talked about the message or the one-legged shot by Kiyoko right there. She was losing her balance. And this will head toward the corner and saved out of bounds. Last touch by Garner. But heading into this year, Vance wanted to, lose the asterisk. One more year to reclaim what they felt was maybe a state title solo championship last year. And the same thing can be now constructed for Garner. They have all the pieces back, but this is a humbling state final appearance against Vance today, and maybe that will give the last step sense of urgency for William Stigler's Trojans.
This is a Vance team. They're just making it look easy. They have that team chemistry off the court, and it spills over on the court. And you can just see how well they play together. And for Garner, we were talking about using this as a motivation. This is going to be a driving force in the offseason, that they can use this experience. Great season, but use this game to get better towards next year.
A 30-point lead, and we get a timeout taken by Vance. 64-34 Vance. And let's get to our Hardee's Feed Your Happy play of the game. And I wonder who it's going to be. Yes, number one, Leah Behringer knocks down one of her 5 3-pointers in this state championship game.
She's been on fire. And when her team's called on her, she's executed. Those outside shots have really brought the emotion to the ballgame. You've seen the bench stand up, cheer on the floor, forcing Garner to call multiple timeouts after her big plays today.
And we talked with Danelle Ryan about Behringer yesterday. I mean, he said he qualified her as their outside shooter. That's obvious, but the other areas of her game have really improved in terms of rebounding, understanding the offense, the leadership quality you brought up a little bit earlier, Jay. That's been apparent on this court really from start to finish.
She does everything. There's no weakness in her ball game. She protects the basketball, too. She's brought it up many times along with Hayes. But everything she does at a high level. She's very unselfish, too, and a player that her teammates look at. She's respected. That leadership ability, her experience means so much to her team.
And by the way, I mean, she's an outgoing senior as well. For somebody who is, as far as we know, is not signed to go play college basketball anywhere, with her teammate Amaya Moreland heading to Old Dominion and Hayes heading to Florida International. Credit her teammates as well for recognizing, I mean, they're not playing selfishly. They don't need the points. They're looking for the one who's going to help them win a state championship. It just so happens today it's Behringer.
Yeah, and she's got the talent, but it's the little things. It's the hustle, the extra effort plays that college coaches should be looking at, because you can see her shooting ability. You can see the stats she's putting up today, but it's the small plays. It's those extra opportunities she creates for her teammates, the hustle. It's all those things that which really makes you a great player and which gets you to the next level.
A couple of free throws there for Behringer from the Riddle and Brantley free throw line. Injured in an accident, call Riddle and Brantley when justice counts. That is now 28 points for Leah Behringer. Foul line jumper missed by Athenian. Offensive rebound grab by Athenian, and a reach-in foul charged against Tanasia Hayes of Vance. Well, I'd say the Vance Cougars have found that rhythm, right? They resumed in late February, just a couple of weeks before the playoffs began. Undefeated, only got 11 games in, 7 out of the IMEC. And again, their only other state championship appearance where they actually did play a game was back in 2003 under Gary Richmond, the head coach then, when they lost to 71st. But again, they were declared the co-champs last year without a chance to take on Southeast Raleigh, which has been one of the preeminent programs in the state for a good decade. As Behringer scores again, she now has 30. And the lead is 34 for Vance.
Vance moves without the basketball. Everybody touches the ball in every possession, and that's what enables them to get so many good shots, high percentage opportunities. And their offense right now 68 points, and this is a very tough Garner defense they've gone against today, but everything has been clicking for the Cougars.
And William Stigler for the Garner Trojans raising the white flag. He's ready to sub in a couple of players deep down his bench as this one closes down. 68-34, as he wants to salute a couple of his outgoing seniors on this squad as well. This possession now going on about 35 seconds. A big cut from the top. Behringer fouled from behind by Naima Hicks. More free throws for today's breakout star. Behringer with 30 points in the state title, leading Vance to the championship.
Wake up with Hardee's. The $3 bacon, egg, and cheese burrito. Fluffy egg, crispy bacon, and melty cheese. All wrapped up in a warm tortilla. The $3 bacon, egg, and cheese burrito. Part of Hardee's 2-3 more breakfast menu. Feed your happy.
Get ready for this week's matchup on Friday Night Rivals.
Hi, I'm Jay Sunhalter, and this week is the season premiere of Friday Night Rivals. We've got a great matchup as Wakefield travels to Rollsville for the team's conference opener. Both squads have high expectations in the loaded Northern Athletic Conference. We're live on Friday night.
Watch each week as the area's best high schools battle for victory. Experience it live Friday night on MyRDC 28. MyRDC Friday Night Rivals, presented by West Shore Home.
Well, if it isn't Big Hardy, you fixin' to sauce me up? Sick those beefy twins on this cheese hound? Scram, Big Mac, go play with your extra toy bun. The adults are getting meaty.
The Big Hardy, part of the buy one, get one for just a buck deal. Feed your happy.
Well, let's recognize our West Shore Home player of the game in this 4A state championship, and there she is, Leah Behringer of the Vance Cougars. A better game in her life she has not had. She's saved it for the state championship.
Been locked in, focused. Those outside shots were flowing early on in this ball game, and for her to have this type of ball game, biggest stage of her career, a special moment.
So let West Shore Home convert your old bathtub into a modern and spacious walk-in shower in just one day. Do you think she has any clue how many points she has? She has 31 in this state championship game. I mean, you dream of playing in a state championship game. Usually that's the dream. It's not scoring 32 of your team's 70 points to win a title.
She's been the dominating force, and she's just been scoring so much. She's in a zone out there. I don't think she has a clue of where she's at, but she's impacted her team in the stat sheet in a big way.
Nearing 3 minutes to go as Garner finally able to drop one in. Swin Bastion, one of the three outgoing seniors on this Garner team. All seniors are on the floor right now for Garner. Hicks, Bell, and Bastion. 70-36 the lead. But again, if you're tuning in a little bit late, Behringer at halftime had 6 points. She has 32 now, 16 coming in the third quarter alone. And a foul taken by Bell on the inside.
For Vance, they really know how to execute their offense. Getting the ball into the high post. If you don't have a defender on you, Coach Ryan has trust and confidence that you can hit that mid-range jumper. But if that defender closes out, he's got the post players down low where they can dish it and get easy shot opportunities.
So Vance at the foul line, and that one is off. One last area to put it in perspective as far as Behringer, as she remains on the floor here, as a couple of subs are out. As Marshall, the senior, departs. Amaya Moreland, another senior, departs. Co-champs last year in the state, and they came back one more year, and there's the salute for Danelle Ryan as those two seniors head off the floor for the final time. 1 of 2 from the line. So in this second half, 48 points for Vance. Behringer has scored 26 of them. A remarkable state championship feat for Behringer. And what an ovation she will receive when Danelle Ryan opts to take her off the floor. She remains out there for the moment, and the ball's in her hands. Hayes now with it. She is a senior. And a handoff toward the sideline. Imani Washington, a sophomore, has that one go off of her leg, and it looks like a sub is ready to come in here for Vance. 2:11 left. And a timeout taken by Vance first. I don't think Behringer wants to leave the floor, to be honest. She was the furthest away from the huddle when the timeout was signaled. I think she just wanted to camp out in the corner, hide away, and savor this magical moment.
What a moment for her and her teammates, especially for these seniors. Dominating win here today, and what a way to finish your career.
(71-36). The Vance lead on Garner. And again, Vance, you go back to the regional semifinal round against Independence, the 12 seed Independence. Vance trailed by 14 at halftime. Danelle Ryan was teed up in the opening quarter, furious with the officiating, less than pleased with the execution of his squad. Came back to win, and then knocked off Providence, and here they are, blowing the doors off Garner for what will be their first ever solo state championship. Inside 2 minutes to go. And this is Kaya Behringer. Behringer, the younger sister of Leah. And that is kicked away, and Leah Behringer has finally headed to the bench for the final time today. 71-36. Vance up by 35 points. And that will go out of bounds. Back to Vance. And one more sub in, and there's the final whistle, and look at that embrace. Tanasia Hayes, the outgoing senior, heading to Florida International next year. And she was one of those players last year that a couple of weeks after the game and the championship was postponed, she and Amaya Moreland went to the coach and said, one more year. They don't say much, but when they do, you listen. And he knew it was going to be something important. And their mission was to not only get to a state championship, but win it. And win it they will, up 71-36.
And when Coach Ryan talked to us, you know, the different personalities on his team, the leadership, and just the chemistry that those players share, those relationships with their coach, it's so special. And that bond, you know, is so important to have. And it's evident out on the floor. You can tell that they like playing together and they play for their coach.
And then lastly, too, when the Mecklenburg school system went into that pause, affecting every team for almost a full month. Mid-January to mid-February was the pause. No practices, no team involvement whatsoever. Coach Ryan was reached out by some of the players, and their concern was, Coach, are they going to have a state playoffs? That was their number one concern, because that was their mission coming back. Are we going to be able to play in the playoffs? And Coach Ryan did his due diligence and wanted to keep the optimism up and told his players, yes, have the faith, we're going to play. Was he sure? No, he was not sure that we would get to this point. And again, all of the sacrifices that everybody has made across the state to make this moment occur is going to be well worth it in 43 more seconds for the Vance Cougars.
Well, that just shows you, though, how motivated his team was and how easy it is to be complacent, or when you don't have a structure around you to kind of take a seat and relax a little bit, but his team pushed during that break on their own, and then when they came back when play resumed, it's been a sprint from that point on.
This is Naima Hicks, and Hicks with her first field goal of the game, now 4 points with 25 seconds left. A reminder, we will have a couple of quick questions for Danelle Ryan after this game ends, right after our commercial break, before the awards ceremony on the floor. And I can imagine it's going to be an awfully emotional conversation with Coach Ryan and what he and his team have gone through over the last 13 months. We may not see another shot here for Vance. Final 20 seconds. I take it back. One last shot for Vance, and there it goes from Lickety Piggy. Knocking down a three, 74-38 Vance. The final 3 seconds tick out. Co-champs last year because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Solo champs for the first time in school history 12 months later. 74-38. Vance claims the 4A championship over Garner. We'll celebrate with the coach, Danelle Ryan, and his players, and celebrate Leah Behringer's masterful game when we return.
I've got a math question for you. When you add tolerance, subtract prejudice, and multiply efforts to treat one another with respect, what do you get? Less division. And school sports have it down to a science. Looking for an example of what can happen when we realize there's more that unites us than divides us? Look no further than high school sports in North Carolina.
This message presented by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the North Carolina Athletic Directors Association.
Wake up with Hardee's. The $3 bacon, egg, and cheese burrito. Fluffy egg, crispy bacon, and melty cheese. All wrapped up in a warm tortilla. The $3 bacon, egg, and cheese burrito. Part of Hardee's 2-3 more breakfast menu. Feed your happy.
I was working as a nurse in the dialysis unit where I was inadvertently injured while I was assisting to transfer a patient from one position to another. The injuries I suffered from that twisted my spine. I'm accustomed to taking care of others. When I was injured, Riddle and Brantley took care of me. When you need help, call Riddle and Brantley.
Riddle and Brantley, when justice counts.
Get ready for this week's matchup on Friday Night Rivals.
Hi, I'm Jay Sunhalter, and this week is the season premiere of Friday Night Rivals. We've got a great matchup as Wakefield travels to Rollsville for the team's conference opener. Both squads have high expectations in the loaded Northern Athletic Conference. We're live on Friday night.
Watch each week as the area's best high schools battle for victory. Experience it live Friday night on MyRDC 28. MyRDC Friday Night Rivals, presented by West Shore Home.
Well, if it isn't Big Hardy, you fixin' to sauce me up? Sick those beefy twins on this cheese hound? Scram, Big Mac, go play with your extra toy bun. The adults are getting meaty.
The Big Hardy, part of the buy one, get one for just a buck deal. Feed your happy.
74-38, state championship belongs to the Vance Cougars. Patrick Keenest now joined by the victorious head coach, Danelle Ryan. Coach, congratulations on the win. What are the emotions you're feeling right now as you celebrate that one more year in a solo title to Vance?
Hey, it's unbelievable right now. I'm really happy for my seniors. Some of the players that didn't get a chance to play, they showed up today, so everything was great. The girls did exactly what we asked in the game plan, so I couldn't be a happier coach right now.
Coach, in your life, have you seen Leah Behringer play better? She had 6 at halftime. She finished with 32.
Hey, man, she really let everybody know out there that didn't recruit her that they need to watch immediately. Leah Behringer played a heck of a game, I never seen her play like that before, but she was determined to let everybody know she is a Division I basketball player.
Last question for you before you celebrate and get the award ceremony. You talked about a conversation about a year ago with Hayes and with Amaya Moreland about one more year and the emotion and the tears that were shared because they couldn't play in the state championship game. A couple players who graduated are here today. What does it mean now, a year later, for all that you and your players have gone through?
I can't even put it into words, man. We just ready to get back and celebrate together. The girls, they really have a bond, so it's going to be hard losing the seniors. But I know that they appreciate seeing their teammates that they couldn't win one for, they feel like they won one for them today.
It's emotional, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations. Thank you so much for opening your heart to us yesterday and bringing a state championship back to Vance. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
74-38. The championship belongs to the Vance Cougars. And, Jay, there's a look. And you talk about the camaraderie and all that these Vance Cougars have gone through in the last 12 and a half months to reach this moment. All of the sacrifices, all the heartaches, the pauses, the masks, etc. Worth it.
The hard work and just, the memories, the friendships that they have, and, being down there on the floor and talking with Coach right after the ball game, you could see not only him being emotional, but the team all in a huddle talking, and that's a special memory that they're going to have here today from a great game.
All right, as we wind things down, let's focus a bit on the runner-up, the Garner Trojans, unbeaten until they ran into an absolute buzzsaw today, falling 74-38, but a lot of the key pieces are back for William Stigler.
His team has so much talent, but they're a team that's going to be even better next year because they're going to use this ball game as motivation. They have athleticism. They've got outside shooting ability. They've got great defensive players. Today just wasn't their day, but we've seen them throughout the regular season dominate their opponents, but they'll use this game towards next year.
(74-38) the win for Vance. And Jay, when you take a look at what Vance is losing, Leah Behringer, senior, Hayes, senior, Amaya Moreland heading to Old Dominion as a senior, but still a couple of pieces in place. But I mean, this is kind of the culmination of a complete rebuild of this Vance program that years ago was an afterthought in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg area, and now all of a sudden a powerhouse because of the players that want to come play for Danelle Ryan.
Yeah, Danelle Ryan's done an amazing job, and for all these players leaving, they're going to leave that legacy for these younger players to kind of live up to. And next year, Trinity Moreland coming back, that'll be her senior year. I think she's going to take another huge leap forward, and a lot of the responsibility will go on her shoulders, but there's a lot of talented young players on this team coming back.
All right, 74-38 the final. So Vance, after losing in the 2003 championship to 71st, splitting the co-championship last year with Southeast Raleigh, claims its first individual state championship with a dominating performance over Garner, 74-38. Coming up at the, I believe it's at the bottom of the hour, we'll have the 1A Women's Championship between Princeton and Murphy. So we invite you to stay tuned for that. I take it back. It's a 1 o'clock tip-off between Princeton and Murphy. Patrick Johnson and Jay Sonhalter will bring that game to you. Jay, put a period on what we just saw the last hour and a half.
I'll tell you, both teams, it's been a challenging year, right? And to play here today, what an honor for both sides. And Vance is going to come away with that state championship banner, but for Garner, a lot to be proud of. But Vance's team here today, inside and outside, the balance on the offensive and defensive end, they did it all, and they deserve it.
All right, let's take a look at what's coming up later on today. We mentioned the 1 o'clock tip between Princeton and Murphy. Princeton undefeated, Murphy at 16-12 as the Garner Trojans pose with their runner-up awards. And coming up at 3:30, the 1A Men's Championship. That features Wilson Prep and Lincoln Charter. And then I'll be back at 6 o'clock later on tonight for the 4A, the big schools in the state of North Carolina. And this will be an outstanding one. Millbrook and Ardrey Kell. Straight up, 6 o'clock tonight.
Those two powerhouses have really kind of been on a collision course to get to this point. I'm excited to see that ball game. There's going to be a lot of college recruiters watching that game as well.
And for all those coaches out there certainly watching this game across the state of North Carolina, I'm not sure if you've reached out to Leah Behringer, but you even heard Danelle Ryan in his post-game interview with us proudly say what he has seen really all season long about Leah Behringer. Yes, it's easy to be wowed by what Moreland is able to do, and Tanasia Hayes as well, but don't lose sight of a glue player who does so many things, so skilled, the ability to slash and get to the rim, calm the forces, handle the basketball, knock down threes, and more importantly to me, step up big on the biggest stage, the state championship. Behringer was undeniably the best player on the court today with 32 points.
Isn't that what it's all about, is stepping up at the biggest moment? And she did it. She had an opportunity today here with the exposure, and she took advantage of that opportunity, playing her best ball game. And you just love to see, good things happen to someone that works so hard. And for her today, this is going to be a special moment.
Yeah, it's a culmination of all of that work. And yes, the last 12 months have been a different kind of work. A lot of workouts on your own. You're running your neighborhoods. You're shooting hoops in your driveway because, you know, gymnasiums are shut down. You can't access the school. There's a lot of trust that has to be granted by the coaching staff and granted by the school to these players, that they get themselves in shape, that they do their push-ups, that they do their sit-ups, they do their weight training all on your own. And if you don't, or if you fudge, you don't get to a state championship game and win by 36 points. So clearly the commitment has been there during the most trying of times for the Vance Cougars.
And it's having trust in your teammates, that everyone is going to be on the same page and do things the right way. And you can see that it paid off for them, that commitment to excellence.
Well, the only disappointing part about seeing these kids wearing masks on the floor right now is you can't see how big the smile is for Leah Behringer at the top of your screen. And certainly she will be a unanimous selection for MVP of this state championship. And a few more awards to be handed out to Danelle Ryan's Cougars. They've waited a long time for this. And Danelle Ryan, who basically earned a lot of trust from these players when they came to Vance through some workouts as families moved into the school district. Again, there wasn't really much of a history here for Vance, but they loved what Danelle Ryan was able to do and how he operated with these players. And once one player came, the others did. And when Tanasia Hayes was really the first one to join forces with Vance, she knew the Moreland sisters. They decided to play here. And then this is the result. You raise the banner for the 4A state championship. Final score, 74-38, Vance over Garner. All of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful sponsor partners, West Shore Home, Hardee's, Wegmans Food Market, Riddle and Brantley, NC 529, the law offices of James Scott Farron, Nissan, and Ingalls Markets. For everyone and all of our partners, thank you for watching. The championship belongs to the Vance Cougars. So long from Trinity.